Good morning. The editing took so much longer than expected. I'm done now, and now I'm going to start my usual morning routine with some yoga. Breathe into the hamstrings. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Shoulders stacked over wrists. Release your knees down, lower all the way to the ground. Inhale for baby cobra. Exhale, release. For lunch, I was planning on making a pasta salad. Don't mind the dishwasher in the background, but it's so hot today that I'm going to make my dream come true and make myself a coffee with ice cream in it. In Germany, here we call it ice coffee, and it's so popular. During the summer, pretty much every cafe has that, but it's never vegan. So I'm going to make my own vegan version of that, and I'm so excited. I didn't have one last year during the summer, and yeah, I really wanted to make one for myself this year. Vegan vanilla ice cream. The vegan ice cream is melting a little too quickly. Yum. So I thought I'd sit down here and have a little heart-to-heart with myself, with you guys, spend some time alone. I mean, that's the whole video, spending time alone, but actually spending time alone to connect with me and to see if there's anything going on that I would like to address with myself, or just to connect with myself. And in my last video, I had used these cards that was sent to me by Mile Paper. Now, this video isn't sponsored by them, but I just really enjoy these questions to empower cards deck that I thought we could do a few questions and just check in with myself. First one I have here is, what habits or routines limit my experience of life? So the first one that definitely instantly comes to mind is being on my phone and just scrolling mindlessly there. It takes so much time, and it's stuff that I don't really need to see or even want to see sometimes. Yeah, I wouldn't say that social media in general is bad, but just the mindlessness of it I think isn't good, especially with Instagram. I feel like it's something that's on your phone and so easily accessible, and you just go on there not because you want to necessarily go on there, but it's just like a habit reflex, and because you're maybe bored or I don't know, you want to escape life. But it isn't something that I truly enjoy, and it takes away time from things I truly enjoy so much more. So yeah, I would say that definitely limits the experience of life. What other routine or habit? I guess also just procrastinating. I guess it would kind of fall together. Procrastinating and being on my phone is kind of similar. Yeah, procrastinating, just taking so long when it comes to switching tasks, I think is a waste of time and valuable time that I could be spending doing better things. Yeah, but it's so difficult to break that cycle. Like, I know it's bad, but I don't know, it's hard. It's hard. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. But maybe I can catch myself in the middle of scrolling or in the middle of these bad habits to be like, no, girl, I don't know, you could be doing other things that you enjoy so much more. What makes me feel good? For one, doing things that I actually enjoy. So things like painting. I love painting. It's one of those tasks where time will fly by and I love to continue, but yeah, I don't have time. What else? What makes me feel good? Spending quality time with Johannes. I love that. Going on little adventures on the weekend or whenever we have time. That makes me feel really happy and fulfilled. And what else? Enjoying nourishing foods that are also delicious. If I have delicious foods that aren't healthy, sometimes I can feel a little gross afterwards, depending on what it is. But in the past few weeks, I haven't been eating too well, in the sense that I've been eating a lot of sugary stuff, which I know isn't really healthy, but I can also feel the effects of it that don't make me feel at my best. What else makes me feel good? Even though I'm an introvert, I do also enjoy spending a day with friends, especially with friends that I feel like I can really connect deeply with. I love spending a day like that. I also find myself wishing that the time would pass slower. Yoga makes me feel really good as well. Doing that. I also do far too little of that recently. I've been so busy. I've taken up like another job, and so that has kind of taken up a lot of time. Yeah, but those are small things, and I think pretty accessible things for the average person that make me feel really good and happy and fulfilled. Now, this last one is a classic question. What advice would I give to my younger self? What would I tell her? I think not to take things too seriously. I think maybe I do this to this day a little bit, but I took things so seriously. I took rules so seriously. I took anything anyone said super seriously. I obviously took school super seriously. I mean, that is a good thing in the sense that in that life phase, school is kind of what is dominant in your life, but I took it so seriously that now that I'm out of school, it was important, but it isn't as important as I thought. Like, when I was in school, I thought it was everything. Like, if you suck at school, you suck at life, which is not true. There's so much more to life outside of school. I don't know, I took things almost too seriously to the point where I think I was stopping myself from having fun, maybe. I was trying to be so responsible and to always do the right thing that I think sometimes I missed out on fun. Maybe it's because I'm the older sister and I felt like I needed to be the responsible one, or I don't know, I just felt like I always had to be responsible, always had to do the right thing, say the right thing, please everyone, and yeah. So I would just tell my younger self not to take things too seriously, try to be authentically myself, try to listen to my own intuition, and just, yeah, not take things so seriously. And it's, I think, advice that maybe I could also use nowadays sometimes, even though I know I'm much better at it now than I used to be. So I encourage you to also answer those questions while I answer them. Maybe you can journal about them. That way you can go more deeply into those questions. And if you'd like to share, feel free to share in the comments down below. It'd be really fun to share a little bit in this community of ours. So I'm again back in the kitchen. I feel like I've been spending all day in the kitchen, but back in line with summer, cooling, fun, delicious things. I want to make my own popsicles, and I've already gotten the ingredients and found the recipe, and it should be really simple, just cucumber, lime, and mint. Mix that up, and I don't have a popsicle form or maker, but in these theme of minimalism and creativity and thriftiness, I thought I'd just use an ice cube tray. I mean, the popsicles will be tiny, but then you'll just have 2 or 3, and then insert like a toothpick. I'll try it out. I mean, why not? If it doesn't work, then I might consider getting a popsicle maker. Let's taste some of this. There's still chunks in there, but I think maybe that'll give it a nice texture. I don't know. A little sour, but I think that would be really refreshing. I don't like it if it's too sweet. This tastes really good, really refreshing. I kind of, when I tasted this, kind of had like some vision of it, like a shaded, beautiful garden for some reason. So this is going to be nice on hot days like today. Hi, it's me from a few days or even more than a week later, but I wanted to show you the results of the popsicles that I made. Actually, I already had quite a few of them, and they were absolutely delicious. I already had a few. They're so easy, you just pop them out, and they are so refreshing. I would make them less chunky next time, but I mean, it wasn't a big deal. They fulfilled their purpose when it came to cooling down, having something delicious and healthier to have on hot summer days. And yeah, I was really thankful that I had those. I would definitely do them again, and the ice tray worked amazingly. I often just had 1 or 2 and I felt like that was enough, and I would try different flavors next time, and definitely less chunks. But yeah, highly recommend. I know it's not really 100% with the theme of spending time alone, but I'm actually gonna call my mom because I haven't talked to her in a while or called her in a while. And yeah, I want to hear her voice again, hear what she's been up to. Yeah, it's a reminder to connect with loved ones, whether it's family or friends, especially parents. They don't stick around forever, as morbid that is to hear, but I once saw the statistic saying that once you move out of your parents' house, you will most likely have spent more than half the time that you're ever going to get to spend with them, which is really sad. But yeah, I'm gonna call my mom now. So I'm now lounging in my favorite chair, rounding off the afternoon, watching a documentary on Netflix called, or actually I don't know what it's called, but it's a documentary about Marilyn Monroe and the mystery around her death. I actually don't know much about her, but I'm very intrigued and interested to know what happened behind the scenes. Just fame in general is really difficult. I feel like it's a weird phenomenon where you seem like someone that has it all, who has the perfect life, but and on the red carpet you have to play or kind of fake that everything's fine, but behind closed doors you're actually not fine. And yeah, it's weird. I'm here with some leftover sweet potato fries. I mean, life couldn't get any better than this. I feel like my day alone, spending time alone videos are pretty similar, but to be honest, these are just the things I love to do and that give me comfort and relax me, and it's okay if it's all the same, or it doesn't have to be a new adventure every single time. It's okay if you find comfort in certain things, that you just do those. If you know what works for you, feel free to stick to that. So I wanted to close out this video because I didn't manage to do that anymore. But the documentary was so interesting. There was so much I didn't know about Marilyn Monroe, so much about her personal life. And it's pretty tragic and pretty scary at the same time as well. But yeah, really interesting. I'm someone that really enjoys like detective crime stuff, but at the same time I'm really sensitive to scary things. So I like that was very factual and documentary, like with a lot of interviews that are really interesting. So I definitely recommend that documentary. I had a really lovely day, did a lot of fun things that I enjoy, and just tune into myself, and definitely had a lot of treats as well. But yeah, it was a much needed day of rest. I hope you also take time to rest, to tune into yourself, do things that you enjoy, that you love. Doesn't need to be a whole day, it can just be an afternoon, an hour or two. Do one thing that's just for you because you enjoy it, and take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.